Hello, I'm Lloyd Robertson. Over these last few years, I've had the opportunity to crisscross the country talking about my autobiography, The Kind of Life It's Been. It's a story of a personal journey through 60 years, covering the dawning of the age of television, the major stories of an era, and some of the characters and personalities I met along the way. But you know, when the questions began from media and members of the audience about the book, they inevitably centered in on one question, and that was, how did I cope with severe mental illness in my family? My mother suffered from many different problems that rendered her dysfunctional. Severe paranoia and depression, bipolar disorder, and obsessive-compulsive disorder. In those days, we didn't talk about that kind of thing. I couldn't discuss any of it with my friends. They were never invited to the house. If she'd had cancer or heart disease, of course, it would have been very different. We could have talked about it. Well, what a difference now. People are coming out at all different venues, talking about their mental health problems, both in their own cases in some situations and with members of their family. For example, at Bond Lake Public School in the small community of Oak Ridges, Ontario, the staff is putting forward several initiatives to raise awareness of mental illness for students, teachers, and parents. Kim Smith is the principal at Bond Lake and has been an active supporter of mental health awareness being integrated into the curriculum in all grades. She is particularly proud of the way in which teachers and students have come together to help identify issues and take active roles in helping one another through in-class and extracurricular activities.
The Bond Lake staff has been really successful at being creative about finding ways to support students, not just academically, but in a variety of ways. We've incorporated the habits of mind into our work in classrooms, and that has helped children understand what it means to persevere, to work hard, to overcome different challenges and be aware of those challenges in a way that they might not have been aware before.
In March of 2015, Bond Lake Public School produced an event led by grade 7 teacher Sarah Tully. As Ms. Tully explains, it was particularly rewarding to see how professionals and people who have experienced mental health issues are so willing to come together to tell their stories and offer advice.
We were able to have a community event that included our staff, our students, and their parents, and help them understand about mental health. We selected the panelists knowing a little bit about them and the different perspectives that they would bring about mental health, but what we couldn't have anticipated was the way that they positively interacted with each other on that night, the way that they fed off each other's stories and experiences, validated the way that each other felt. Watching in the audience, for me, it was a pleasure to see them have a conversation that helped us come to a better understanding about mental health and well-being.
Derek Logan is head of Kingsway College School in Toronto. He is a knowledgeable presenter and speaks about his experiences with mental health, both as an educator and a parent.
Well, I think we need to talk about mental health. It's all around us. It's with our students. It's in our community. It's in our families, and I think we need to really begin having the conversation openly with each other.
Krista Carlin is a fourth-year social work student and former coordinator of the Peer Support Line at McMaster University. She's also a Canadian delegate for the Jack Project.
The real reason and the real passion behind why I'm involved in mental health is that I really experienced a bad situation with mental health, and I was really lucky in that I accessed help and I was able to move from a place that wasn't great to a place that was better.
Dr. Grigoreva is a child and adolescent psychiatrist from South Lake Regional Health Centre in Newmarket, Ontario. She supports a range of mental illnesses through inpatient and outpatient services.
Most of the kids I see, they are either anxious or dealing with depression. If I'm on call in emergency room settings, I see a lot of kids who are at risk of hurting themselves or hurting other people. We deal with a lot of kids who unfortunately feel that life is not worth living.
Alyssa Logan is a first-year psychology student at the University of Guelph and is a presenter for Jack.org, a national network of young leaders transforming the way we think about mental illness.
mental health is something that I'm extremely passionate about. I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety when I was in grade 6, and I feel like if I had known someone who was there to talk to me about what their experiences were like, my experiences would have been a lot easier.
So as you've heard from the members of our panel, raising awareness of mental illness is critically important to everyone, children, parents, communities, all across this country. So no matter where you are, be sure that you're continuing the conversation. It will be helpful to us all.